for this next segment, I really want to focus on wellness and your livelihood as a college student, whether you're at UC Riverside or whatever else the school you're attending. Let me know in the comments too. Let me know what school you're going to if you're comfortable. But I would say honestly, in terms of wellness and livelihood, I think it's important to learn that friendships are not going to always look the same every year. Your friendships evolve as you all navigate new relationships, other friendships, other conflicts with people who you share friends with, like mutual friends not getting along. Like, things will change. And also sometimes the people you're friends with are people you're working with, and sometimes they're people you're supervising even though you're the same age, and it can get like really awkward. But I would say at the end of the day, don't have any expectations. Don't have expectations for any of your friends. Don't have expectations for how your friend group is going to look like, how many friends you're going to have, how much fun you're going to have in college. Don't have expectations so you don't disappoint yourself. This is my biggest advice. Like, don't hold yourself to certain expectations that you know you can't meet. Don't hold other people to expectations that are unrealistic. And don't be mad at people for not meeting your expectations when you don't communicate them. Like, this is really important to make sure that you're happy and that you're well. Because if you're constantly worried about like, everyone's disappointing me, nothing looks the way I imagined it to be, well, because you're constraining your lived experience with all these unreasonable expectations, what do you think is going to happen? Of course you're going to be unhappy. So just like let it go. Let stuff happen. Let friendships fall apart. But that's the next point I want to make too. Even though conflict is bound to happen, I would say get used to like understanding different people's ways of dealing with conflict. I can make a whole video about like just dealing with conflict, honestly, but just to keep it brief, I would say like I've had to learn to navigate people who are passive aggressive. I've had to learn how to navigate people who are avoidant and who just don't want to deal with issues right away. And this is coming from someone who has an anxious attachment style, who like, I need to get to the root of this problem immediately. I am a solution provider. I will come up with a solution. I'll talk it out with you. I'll compromise. Like, I will just have to get the issue settled immediately. Like, I can't go to sleep. Like, I'm that type of person. So I've had to learn to adjust to other people's styles, and other people have had to deal with me. So you know what I'm saying? Like, life is a compromise, and sometimes stuff doesn't look pretty. But at the end of the day, you learn something from it. And no matter where your friendships take you, no matter how much you outgrow people or how much people disrespect you, well, actually, pause on that. If people are disrespecting you, like, let's leave them behind. But can you guys hear that? Sorry, my neighbors, I don't know who is out there, but they're being like really loud and like, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I would just say like don't burn bridges as much as you can, especially if they haven't necessarily disrespected you or crossed like a no boundary. Like, if someone just like rubbed you the wrong way, or like you just don't like each other for whatever reason, it's like just like a really petty reason, I would say it's not worth starting unnecessary drama over, or creating beef, like just making everything a big deal like for no reason. Like, it's okay to be cordial. It's okay to not like someone and like be in their presence and just not start saying stupid stuff. Like, it's completely okay. And this is coming from someone who used to be like, I can't fake like someone. I cannot fake liking someone. And so this is just like my growth as someone, like being in the college environment. This isn't middle school anymore. This isn't high school anymore. You're not going to be like praised for being confrontational or praised for being real. It's like you're in a space where you're going to probably see the people around you again for the rest of your life, depending on what you study. Like, the world is super small. Even if you're like, I don't like this person, like they just rubbed me the wrong way, you never know when they're gonna come back in your life and when you're gonna need them. You don't know if like this is gonna be the person that you're gonna be asking for a job later on in your life, even as like unlikely as that is. And as much as you won't appreciate doing it, like eventually this will have to happen. Maybe. You never know. So it's not worth, I guess, burning bridges over stuff that doesn't matter when it could hurt you much worse later on down the line. Commuting is very draining. I know this is a little bit of a different topic, but overall it ties into wellness, because I think especially with going to a commuter school, having so many commuter friends, I've seen their wellness, their energy dwindle every single day. Like their soul is being taken out from them. Like it's genuinely a horrid sight. Like I don't wish commuting on anyone, especially if it's like more than 30 minutes and if it's like LA traffic. Like I don't wish that on anyone. You should not have a 40-minute to hour commute back and forth to school, not combine like separate 1 hour commutes to and from school every single day. Like that's absolutely not acceptable. And the reason why I say that is because commuting is draining. Like you're constantly in traffic, especially if you're in like Southern California. It is so draining to drive here because it's just hot. You constantly have to get gas. Gas is expensive right now. Like it's just not, it's not a win-win. And you're hurting the environment by constantly driving. Like it's just not good. So if you're going to a commuter school and you have a way to live nearby, you have a car and like you have the means and the support system to, and the financials to literally go and like get an apartment on campus or off campus nearby somewhere and just like live on your own while you're at school, that's great. Like do that. But if you prefer commuting and you would rather, like it has its pros and cons, you know, just think about it. Like yes, you might have to commute every day, but how can you build your schedule to be optimal to make sure that you make the best use of your commute, so you're not just like commuting for 2 hours a day just to be on campus for 45 minutes. Like, you know, make use of your time on campus and also go back home and have your parents support you. Like if you have chosen family or you're living with your current family, do they support you? Are they providing food for you? Do they provide shelter for you? Like just think about the pros and cons and see which one is saving you the most money, honestly, and the best for your mental health. And my next thing here is about rest, especially because when you're so ambitious in college and you want to have a good college experience, like you're getting involved in clubs, you're getting leadership positions, you're getting these on-campus jobs, you might even have an off-campus job, and you're taking like lots of classes, you're doing well in them, you're studying well, you're getting good grades. It can be extremely draining. Like this is not an easy thing at all. This is why so many people don't go to college. They stop their education after high school because it is a challenging thing. Like this is completely normal, but don't think that you have to be on the grind 24/7 in order to succeed in college. Like you need to take a break. You absolutely have to take time to rest, and don't guilt yourself into not resting because you equivocate resting with procrastination. They are absolutely not the same thing. You taking time to read a book or rest, go take a shower, take care of yourself, like do some skincare, eat some food, that's not procrastination. You're literally taking care of your bodily needs. And if your commitments are getting to that level of just intensity where you're forgetting about yourself, you forget to eat during the day, you literally like barely make time to eat during the day, you're starving in class, that's not okay. You're not showering, like it's just stop. Like stop as soon as you see those signs. Like you need to sit down, reevaluate. And it's hard. Like I've personally had to sit down and be like, damn, like I don't even have time for myself. Like how am I going to sustain myself through college? And it was literally my last year and I was like, am I even gonna make it to the end, genuinely? Because I had stacked up so many responsibilities, and obviously I believe myself to be capable, and I am capable, and I was capable, but at what cost? Genuinely, at what cost? Like my resume would have still been as nice. Don't take on too much to the point that you feel like falling apart, you're holding on by a thread, and you never know when stuff is going to go left. You never know when there's going to be a family emergency, a health emergency, and you're going to have to drop everything and put yourself first. If that you're having issue with that, even thinking about that, you need to sit down, like genuinely sit with yourself and be like, why, what residual shame and trauma do I have internally that causes me to think that putting myself first is not okay? And generally sit down and like unpack that with your therapist if you have one, because that is a very deep wound. Just saying. And with that, I will say continue, like, don't burn yourself out throughout college. All these things that you're doing, like everything that I'm saying right now goes to the point of saying, like, obviously explore during your time and take the time to get to know people around you, get to know yourself. This is more so a growth journey for you than anything else. Obviously, you're building up your academics, your classes, your interests in your future career. You're building great skills, leadership skills at the clubs and organizations you're joining and the job experience you're getting. But at the end of the day, what is it worth if you are burnt out and you have no will to live after? Right? So definitely take time to think about how you're taking care of yourself and what ways you're doing that. For me, the best way I was able to take care of myself and just give myself a rest and like a break after everything was during the week. I would not work on weekends usually. I would obviously, do readings, homework and stuff on the weekend as well as the weekdays. But I would allocate one weekend specifically to just like doing absolutely nothing, maybe even bed rotting. Literally just lay in bed and like watch reality TV. Genuinely, like that was one of my weekends. But not like the full like 2 days, but just like one of the days. And then the other day I would get the Sunday scaries, and I would sit down. I would plan the whole week and do my readings, do my assignments, the usual. But yeah, give yourself like a break or something. Like definitely choose a weekend day and just be like, this day I will do absolutely nothing. And especially if you're an introvert, like pick a day that you're just not around people. Genuinely, like I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to deal with anyone from work. Like just internal day, please. And just know that it's okay to say no. Genuinely, I felt bad sometimes saying no to my friends and being like, ugh, like I have homework, like I can't hang out. It feels bad because you also get FOMO. But I think it's just like a balance. Like sometimes I would say no and I would pick my homework and my studies or work over my friends, and I would feel horrible about it, of course. But then I would remind myself, like, this is what I'm here for at the end of the day. And other times I would balance out the decision if I'm like, well, yeah, technically today I wanted to work on this assignment, but, I can, like, my friends are inviting me and I do have a couple hours free. Why not? Like, give yourself that break too, to also say yes to yourself, to say yes to your wants, and also have that discipline to say no when that stuff needs to get done. Like, period. Like, don't play. So, especially when midterms and finals come around, like, it's just a different beast. And then I would also say, lastly, pick up a hobby. A lot of people I know crochet, knit, sew, make clothes. Like, that's a really cool hobby. I also just think, like, going to the gym. Like, generally just something to do with exercise, whether it's Pilates, going to the gym, weightlifting, cardio, whatever you decide to do, just make sure your body is moving, because honestly, that will help your cognitive function. If you're just sitting around all day and you're constantly working and you're just sitting and you're not really moving in the ways that you should be and challenging your body, your mind is also just, it's easier to get tired all day. It's easier to feel exhausted. It's easier to just have like nothing to look forward to, honestly, and you kind of just feel like a slug. I don't know. I felt like that when I wasn't going to the gym and when I wasn't exercising like that. And do something that your body loves. Like, don't feel like, okay, everyone's telling me to go weightlifting and go build this bubble butt and I have to do it. No, like, do what feels right for your body. Whether you're like, I am a pro cyclist and cycling makes me feel good, go do that. Or if you're like, I'm a Pilates princess, like, go you, do you. Like, don't let other people pressure you into doing things you don't want to do. We'll come back to that in a future video. I have all these ideas that I just want to make content videos about. We'll continue. And then last thing, just general advice, I would say this is highly, I wouldn't say it's underrated, but I feel like not enough people know about this. Not enough people are taking advantage of this. And this is my best advice that I want to pass on to the next generation coming into UCR or just any school, honestly, like, because this applies to every school period. But I would say for sure 1,000% apply to be an RA. And obviously consider the circumstances. Like, if you're a commuter and you have no intention of staying on campus or living on campus, maybe applying to be an RA is not the best for you. But if you are passionate about the position, you like what they do, and you like arts and crafts, you like putting on programs, you like building relationships, you're a people person, and you also want to gain that experience of responding to emergency situations, being there for people, like showing up. And it's a good thing to put on your resume too, you know, if you're passionate about that kind of thing, you know, definitely apply to the residential education program. And I'm not just putting like free promo out there, like, just because I'm like, oh, like I used to work there. Like, no, genuinely, because it's not just about the work too, but that's very meaningful and impactful. It's also about the benefits that you get to. Like, those benefits are absolutely unmatched. There's no other job or program on campus that offers those same things to you as a student. So basically, if you don't know, at UCR, the RAs, you get completely free housing. Usually it's a single room. If you do share a room, usually you don't share rooms, but it's like apartment style, like a 4-bed or like 2-bed apartment with another RA or PA. Usually, sometimes it differs every year, so don't take my word for it. But usually you're guaranteed like a single room for yourself, which is awesome. And that means you don't have to share your room with anyone, which is also really good for your wellness and livelihood if you don't like that. And you get also a stipend. It is kind of modest. You do get $50 bi-weekly, so $100 per month. But you can apply for CalFresh, and there's the Basic Needs Center, and they can help you apply for CalFresh so you can get, you know, free food and groceries because of your stipend. And you also obviously get free campus Wi-Fi while you're staying on campus, and you get meal swipes. So at the dining hall, you don't have to worry about, you know, making yourself food at home with the $100 stipend. You can just go to the dining hall and get your 3 meals a day there with awesome dessert. Love the dessert. So I guess that's my advice, like my general advice. I would say whatever you do, just at least try and apply to be an RA or a PA. I was a PA my first year in residential education. I was with the Stonewall Living Learning Community, so with the LGBTQ plus first year students. And I then moved on to be assistant resident director. So you can get a promotion too, and like that can also look really good for you. So it's up to you how much you care about the position and how much you want to progress in it. Some people decide to stay RA for multiple years. It's completely up to you. I would say try, because it is a competitive program, but also they changed their contract so that once you get in and you have that 1 year of free housing and free meals and also a stipend, you also are guaranteed, you're basically guaranteed to like stay with the department for at least 2 years, depending on your job performance. So if you do well, you do have a good reputation, you're doing your job, you're minding your own business, you're not causing any problems, like you're just great at your job, they will basically, if space allows, they will offer you a second year with them without having to kind of like reapply. So I would say just something to consider. I think it's great, and it also saved me thousands of dollars in housing costs. So I'm just saying. And also just academic advisors and degree audit. So academic advisors, please use them. Like, they are literally getting paid to help you understand what courses you need to take, what is required for your degree, what kind of degree options do you have, can you double major, can you minor, And this is really important stuff. If you're not talking to your academic advisors at least once a quarter, what are you doing genuinely? Because what I've seen happen to a lot of my friends who graduated before me was they wouldn't talk to their academic advisor because they didn't like their academic advisor. It's like, I understand you don't like them. Ask to get a switch. Ask to get a referral to somebody else. Just be proactive about it. They would not be proactive, and because they didn't like the person, they wouldn't talk to them, and it's negatively affecting their graduation requirement. Like they haven't been taking the classes that they're supposed to take. And then the time for graduation comes, they have to apply to graduate, and then the portal is telling them, well, you're not done with your classes, so how are you going to graduate? And they're shocked because they're supposed to graduate. Like, this is not a shock. Like, meet with your academic advisor. They're literally here for you, a free resource that you're paying for through your tuition. Just talk to them. Like, literally 30 minutes once a quarter. That's all. And just be like, hey, am I on track to get my degree? What other classes should I take? What classes are coming up next quarter? How do I sign up? And sometimes a lot of people have trouble with their registration portal. Your academic advisor can help you with that. And if your academic advisor is busy, there's also peer advisors, and you can book them as well. So I would say there's a lot of resources, genuinely. Just like, you need to look for them. You need to open your eyes. You need to go to these events and learn about them, because sometimes it just doesn't drop down into your lap. But hopefully this video was helpful in understanding like some of the resources that are available to you. Of course, there's like a plethora of resources and other things that I can talk about for hours about UCR, but I don't want to bore you to death. So if you want a part 2, if you want more information, I can go more into detail about certain things, let me know. But I would say, I guess, last few things with general advice and just like a last note to end on. So I would say get very familiar with degree audit, because that's basically the digital version of your academic advisor. So you're basically your academic advisor when you make an appointment with them. They will sit down and go through your degree audit with you. And that's basically the entire book of like classes, what you need for your specific degree that you're entered into, the specific college, any general education requirements like breadth, they're called, any breadth classes you need to take. They will tell you if you've completed it. If you have any transfer units, it shows up there as well if it applies to the school. So I would highly recommend that. And like, just get used to how it works, how it looks, and keep track of the percentage, like how much is the percentage that you're doing every quarter. So let's say after your first year, it says you're like 40 to 50% done. That's basically telling you you're on track to graduate in 3 years. Now I'm going to get to that point in a second, but basically the point is like, just keep track of the percentage of how many classes you're doing. What does that correlate to on the overall percentage of classes you need to take? How much is complete for your degree to be complete? And then also you can do a bit of experimentation on the website too, which I find really amusing, because you can go on there and click on like the what if feature at the very top. And through there, you can explore, okay, if I want to do a double major, let's say I want to be sociology and political science major, double major, how many classes do I need to take for both of those in order to graduate in 4 years? Am I going to be able to graduate in 4 years if I take a double major? And also, what are the requirements for a minor that I'm interested in, right? And you can read about the classes too, the class descriptions. So I find that tool to be really amusing. I played around so much with it. Like, I literally basically tried every single major and minor, whether it was in my college or outside of it. Like, I really took my time with that. And it also made me realize what I was interested in and wasn't interested in. So again, highly recommend. And then building on that last point, if you're keeping track of your degree requirements, you're getting the degree that you're interested in, and you see that, you know, you're progressing through your classes pretty quickly, like throughout your first or second year, you're basically almost like 3/4 of the way through your complete requirements for your BA or BS, whatever your degree you're getting, and you're like, wait, maybe I'm able to graduate early, whether it's like a quarter early, 2 quarters, or a whole year early. that's what I did. I graduated in my 3rd year instead of doing a 4-year traditional course. And there's pros and cons. I can make a whole separate video about that. Let me know if you want that. But just shortly speaking, just very quickly summarizing it, I highly recommend, I think I made, maybe I'll like attach it here and show you guys. I literally made a pros and cons list. My mentor told me this. She was like, sit down and like think about it. Do you really want to graduate in 3 years? What would that look like for you? What are the pros and cons of that? Like, think of that for yourself in your own lens. And some of the answers for me was like, the pro of me graduating in 3 years is I'm able to go to law school sooner. So I'm able to graduate earlier and be like the youngest in my class, which is a really cool, fun fact, I guess. But the downside is like, I'm going to be the youngest in the room, so I'm always going to be underestimated, right? So that's another thing to take into consideration. Or if you graduate early, you're saving, if you're, taking loans to pay for school. You're going to save yourself a year's worth of educational loans and interest, but then the con is you have to get a job in order to not rack up that interest immediately and like be able to pay it off eventually before you go to law school. So that was like, for me and my perspective, what the pros and cons were. There was obviously more on my list, but genuinely make that pro and con list and genuinely think about it. Like, what will you do in that situation if you graduate in 3 years? And what will you do if you graduate in 4 years? What is going to be your life path after that? And you cannot think about this stuff too early. Genuinely, you cannot think about it too early. I highly recommend getting started as soon as you can. Just, yeah, as soon as the thought even pops up into your head, make that list, make that comparison, sleep on it, think about it for a few months, and then make your decision and talk to your academic advisor about that. Like, let them know, hey, I want to graduate early. Let them know, because they need to go through certain processes to let you graduate early. And like, yeah. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. So if you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, let me know what school you went to. Let me know if you want me to elaborate on any sort of like additional point that I made, or if you're curious about something else that I said. Just let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.